talk about how to use for your acne routine. But first things first. If you are actively trying to tackle acne, the data is around using 2%. Okay. The typical time points that these clinicals are looking at is anywhere between roughly 10 to 12 weeks. So does take some time. And it makes sense because ultimately you want to see that improvement after like a complete cycle of the breakout. Basically, you want to see in the next cycles how is acne improving. So that's the best way to get a full picture of that. In terms of how frequently it should be used, now clinicals, they look at it, they're using it twice daily. But ultimately, Gloria and I feel like it really depends on your goals here. Like we had been discussing before, if you're actively trying to tackle, if you end up using up to twice a day, that's totally fine. However, it is about what is your skin trying to tell you? Is the dryness, are you able to tolerate it? Okay, it's totally okay to lower that frequency and even lower the concentration if needed.
Yep. And I think something else to add here is that I do think a lot of people's acne routines are definitely the maximalist approach where you use everything and use everything twice daily. I do think that salicylic acid has a place in people's routine, but you really don't have to punch for that highest everything. Like in that one clinical Victoria shared, even though they have a salicylic acid cleanser and the salicylic acid toner, especially if you have other actives, consider just picking one product with salicylic acid.
Totally. And then finally, let's talk about some products in the space. How to put this nicely. I have a very hard time choosing between salicylic acid toners, if I were to be very honest. I think that they all feel generally about the same. And so if I were to really give a suggestion on how to choose, you don't have to, if you're trying to just experiment and see if skin likes it, you don't need to go for the most expensive salicylic acid toner. You don't have to go for a Paula's Choice here. You can consider something like the Ordinary's 2% solution, just to even just trial it in your routine and see how that works.
I think I also, as someone who doesn't have acneic skin, back in the day or like during pockets of time when I feel like my skin is a little bit more congestion prone. Nowadays, my skin is like pretty tame. I only need to spot treat my blackheads. But back in the day, back when I was youthful, when I had more T-zone issues.
What? You are still youthful, Gloria.
Thank you.
What do you mean not youthful?
Successful fishing attempt successful. But I do feel when I
personally, that's a personal attack on my age. Like we're the same age. You attack me by saying
You're right. The same back in my day when I had more T-zone issue, when it's like a bigger area where my skin was a little bit more combination rather than true dry skin that I have now. I prefer actually using it in a wash because it makes me so dry and sensy. I don't even love the toners. Like a very basic salicylic wash to me is like okay maintenance. And me personally, because my skin tolerates glycolic acid really well, so in terms of the chemical exfoliation mechanism, I actually turn to that more than, like I know some people only have salicylic acid as their chemical exfoliant, which doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And so we would consider, let's say, like a Paula's Choice, their BHA exfoliator, and the Ordinary. These are probably in similar categories. They are just no frills. Salicylic acid is the main focal point here. The pharmacy has a little more. They clearly try to go for, maybe a few extracts that can bring that kind of soothing aspect as well. There's arginine in that one. This is how we generally feel salicylic toners are organized. You're going to have ones that are truly just no frill salicylic acid, and you're going to have your 2% salicylic acids toners that come with maybe a few extracts and certain like soothing actives or hydrating actives. And so I think that's kind of how we would split this category up for you guys. Yeah.
I think for me, this category is also so wide that once in a while we'll run into a product that makes us roll our eyes a little bit. And those are the ones that kind of almost over jazzify cell acid as an ingredient.
Gloria, tell us about that one that you seem to have in mind.
Mine feels. Well, recently we saw that In Beauty has a product In Beauty has an acne serum that they claim to be it's FDA approved medicated acne serum with cell acid. It has it has 1.5% cell acid. And then they threw in other stuff like 2% niacinamide, 2% tranexamic acid, some extracts and stuff. The reason why this claim makes us roll our eyes a little bit is it's one of those like technically not incorrect but also very misleading claim because cell acid is FDA approved OTC, which means cell acid products are on the market are FDA approved. It just makes it seem like they went out of their way to get to get cell acid registered and approved by FDA. That is not what happened here.
Yeah, and the other thing too is you don't have to look for a medical grade or medicated version of cell acid. It's all the same. Okay, so this is where we're kind of like, we get it. Cell acid market is very saturated, but we don't have to worry about like the efficacy and whether or not it's like medically efficacious versus cosmetically efficacious here. That term doesn't really, it doesn't mean much here. So yeah, so we would say this is a good example of maybe claims that you don't really have to pay attention to. We didn't really cover it in this one, but we did want to give out a shout out to La Roche-Posay. They actually did do a clinical that's academically published on the results of their cell acid. So that would be one we would definitely recommend checking out. But all in all, ultimately, we hope that this is at least helpful in understanding what salicylic acid can do for your acne scenario, how to use it, also what to expect in terms of how it can help, and maybe how some of these marketing claims can almost seemingly overpromise. In Beauty's acne serum, they have a claim that says clears acne in 1 day. It's very general. It's not tied to any testing. But this is one of those claims that you'll commonly see. And Beauty is not the only one that does this.
Yeah.
That we recommend to look further, because then you'll see that what they're actually trying to say is that after 24 hours, it says reduces the excess oil production and the look of red swollen bumps. That's the claim that I believe they're actually testing for. So I think this is where that's one of the classic acne claims out there that I feel like always gets people. That it's always when you're in a pinch and you really want to get rid of that really inconvenient breakout at an inopportune time. And I feel like that is the claim that preys on everybody, including myself. So just want to put that out there.
I definitely understand why people gravitate towards that claim. And it's just like, I feel like it sets up very unrealistic expectations. And also at the same time, I know like acne people have gone through like product after product trying to find the one. But it also sets up a slightly, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't teach people to give it time and stay consistent.
Yes.
I know so many kids in their teenage years, they just bounce from product to product. Sometimes they only use a product for a week and they're like, this is garbage, it doesn't work. Let me find the next TikTok fad to see if it will work. Exactly. And it's just like such a shame because it still takes a good foundational routine to really tackle it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And on that note, couldn't put it better myself.